Prepare for liftoff. The Crazy 8 is the latest iteration of Brad's ironclad design with a mega-sized drop tank. So, lifting under mostly jet thrust, hopefully for the first 8 kilometers. It's all up and away. So this version has a survival kit strapped to the back, because one successful anti-pirate drone strategy is for someone with a machine gun, me, to jump out of the ship and go charging at the drone and distract it. Preferably shoot it to bits, while the other person keeps mining, hopefully, or perhaps even does the same. Doesn't matter, because we've both touched the survival kit. Oh, helmet time, helmet time. So we've both tapped this survival kit, so we should both respawn on it floating above the ship, where we can head back towards any drones suicidally once more. So blazing away with some double-engined firepower now. Burning drop tank fuel first is the way. So new ironclad has got a double drill, some extra plating, some extra engines to lift all this junk, survival kit, redundant antennas so we can't lose ships like may possibly have happened in an undisclosed former mission. So it should have all the go gear that a little purple astronaut needs. So what's our altitude? 12 k's up. Into some genuine freezing space. So there's our platinum roid, throbbing peacefully in the distance as a roid will, and there's plenty of platinum left on it, but it's 30 k's away, which in space is apparently a big deal. In Space Engineer space it is. So now we're just cruising on the drop tank engine for the most part, blazing away at the speed limit. Possibly not the most efficient way to go there. What have we got? Tanks. 60% on the drop tank. Internal tanks are full. Plenty of fuel for this trip. It's nice to have a deck chair thrown on the back of a space shuttle. That's how I like to travel. It's like sticking your grandma on the roof rack. So we've got some parachute nodules in front of me and behind me. So it's fingers crossed if we have another crazy landing like last time It's potentially last second parachute time. Apart from that, it's a relatively stock ship still. The 8th iteration of this ironclad design, I believe. The Lucky 7 wasn't quite as lucky as we were hoping it would be. A certain amount of undisclosed tragedies occurred to the Lucky 7. It involved it being, shall we say, lost in space. So Crazy 8 for the win. That's the plan. Okay, we've crossed another 10k of the vastness of local space. Local space where the asteroids hang out uncomfortably close to your planet. Terrifying. So I've got an oxygen bottle and 2 hydrogen bottles, because I'm usually just carrying 2 hydrogen bottles. And I grabbed an oxygen bottle, and there's oxygen in the cockpit. I think there's oxygen reload for my bottle. I think I can jam it in the oxygen tank and refill my bottle. Usually we can do some mining and get back again, and oxygen's not a huge factor. You tend to need to recharge your gear if you're doing some manual mining. But hydrogen and oxygen don't tend to be a huge problem for just a single trip to a local ride like this. And straight back again as soon as you've got your greedy mitts on a fat stack of platinum. Such a pretty blue marble. And a few other ice lakes out there that I can potentially go and visit and extract some ice from too. 10 kilometers and counting. Space exploration is all action. So there's lots of little pirate blips appearing, disappearing. It's that time again. Tank time. What's that? Tank situation. 30% used since last time in the drop tanks. So the drop tanks will get us where we're going, I would think. 5k's to go, easy. So our drop tank isn't exactly a drop tank like staging in the atmosphere, space shuttle style. It's possible to drop it now and there would be gravity, the sheer amount of gravity to send it tumbling down like a projectile towards our base. But it looks like we're going to be keeping it around while we do some mining. So here comes the platinum roid. I don't know if Brad has the same waypoints I do. But I've got it waypointed in sort of space above the crater with the platinum in it. Some space broggies. Not exactly sure what sort of control regime is going on here. There's lots of thrust appearing from all sorts of different directions. It's very complicated. Okay. So we've got a bead on the platinum. We've got some red evil people lurking around. Commence drillification. Preparing to extend piston. I'm always prepared to extend my piston at the drop of a hat. It's one of my many unique skills. Okay. Time to grind on the face of that asteroid and make some dollar bills, yo. You gotta love the whirring, clunking Heath Robinson machinery of space engineers. It's awesome. Once you get rid of some of the tedium of the game by using nano repair and various other cool tricks, you can have a lot of fun. You just need to amp up the difficulty level by throwing in all sorts of crazy pirates and nasty businesses, which is what we've done. So, Space Patrol. Where is the local pirate scum? Got my machine gun. My cheap disposable rapid fire machine gun of spam. Take that, and some of this as well. Oh, he's already in trouble. I hit him in a vulnerable spot. He's smoking. Blamming away with my spam gun. Alright. Time to get on their face and grind. And of course I want thruster components. You know I do. Better get some of them from that lot. Get rid of the spam gun. Clean up all of them their thrusters. That's pretty well my agenda when it comes to drones. Disarm it, remove its thrusters, probably neuter its battery if I can, but gravity has claimed it. Alrighty, job well done. Cheap machine gun of spam for the win, so I get back in my seat. See, I'm not even halfway through my initial oxygen supply. Oh dear. Ah dear, getting into my seat has caused the server has entered your vehicle and therefore the server is in charge bug. So, how we cure this, I'm not sure. There we go. Switch it off then on again. Not sure. Seems to have some modicum of control despite dragging the drill everywhere. So, I should go over and get rid of any rock from the inventory so that we can keep scooping up platinum. Unless there's more bad guys. In which case I need to bravely machine gun them. Preferably in the back while they're asleep and not looking and on vacation. Because that's the kind of brave soldier I am. So, drop tank control panel's been damaged. The drop tanks are empty. We are now running on internal hydrogen fuels. Getting fat stacks of plat despite only having one drill left. redundant drill for the win. Not saying that's my idea or anything, but still, good thing there happen to be 2 drills on the front. So, 11 thruster components is good. Plat and stone. Large container 2, my chair isn't plumbed. I'm going to have to go out and actually find some plumbing and yoink some stones. I've got Mr. Stretch Arms. That's a joiner, it's not a cargo thingo. The drill's full of cargo thingos. That seems like a sensible option. Flipping great watches of stone. Out you go. Out into the cosmos with you. Get some more, because we don't need any of that stone. We've got plenty of stone at home on the driveway. So Bundy's away. Oh dear. You gotta be careful with your space Bundies. Nothing to see there. Space Bundy's bouncing around. Oh dear. Better get in before I get left behind. So we can drop the drop tank once we're clear of this asteroid. Whoops. Whoops. Oh dear. This occasionally happens when our pilot fails their drug test and gets a little flustered by pirates. Decided to just leg it from this pirate rather than doing the meet them in combat. We just burn them off. Speaking of burning, it's an interesting smell coming from the back of the ship. That's alright, we've got our old friend gravity to help. Advantage of mining inside the asteroid field and its gravity well is that we don't actually need fuel to get home. We need fuel to run away. That's about it. Okay, our one remaining drill is off. We're on internal thrust. We could drop our hydrogen tank on descent or something like that, but I mean we've already dropped this one because it was shot up by, or was it knocked off by the ground? I'm not sure. It might have been pirates, it might have been the ground, I didn't see. But it is possible to actually drag it home with all the fuel we've got. We've got 66 now. We've got gravity doing all the work for us at the moment. Zero reason for Brad to be thrusting in any direction, really. I mean, we're trying to control where we come down so that we can head for base. But we could just fall for a while at the moment. So we could take the drop tank back down into the atmosphere and just sort of drop it, reuse it. But we can also throw it away. It's very easy to build a new one. It's not exactly amazingly rare and tricky resources involved. So with that, the Crazy 8 is headed for home, with a belly full of platinum, mind you. So last time it was manual mining, quickly scoop it up, shove it into the cargo hold as quick as we can shenanigans. This time it was nose-mounted drill. Brad drills the asteroid while I keep a lookout and charge any pirate drones that turn up, which inevitably one did. It was inevitable. We've got reavers, we've got corruption, we've got regular pirates, we've got base installations set to spawn on the very edge of weapon range from our personal selves. We've got aircraft that can spawn and fly on a pathing course that takes them well within weapon range. They can spawn and fly 100 meters off the deck in this particular mod. I think they have to spawn about 400 or 500 away from other grids, so they couldn't spawn 100 meters above our base with a giant ship and blow the crap out of it per se. But they can spawn half a K away in weapons range, start shooting us and fly over our base and just obliterate it. It's a daily, hourly possibility that can and sort of does happen. This base has been reaver attacked twice. I think we might have had a drone or something else come in. Seems like we've gotten off lightly, I guess. But we're always surrounded by pirate bases, and we've had to wipe out a couple just to create room around our beautiful lakeside retreat here. Such a nice big lake, you can see it from space. You've got to love lakes. They're a huge source of hydrogen and oxygen, and they're always at sea level. So if you want to parachute somewhere, parachute onto a lake, not onto a mountain. So there's probably a couple of other lakes around the place that I could scope out from such a high altitude. I think this might be the biggest frozen lake on the planet though. It's hours, all hours. Some stormy weather below. Thundering downwards at an ungodly speed, as you do. We're approaching the atmosphere. Now we're down to 21 fuel. Way too much burning up on the return trip, I feel. But that's alright. It's important to skip around the globe so that you're in the right general area, so that you're landing near your base or on your base, or crash landing near your base so that you can recover the fragments. Alright, that's a more familiar picture of our lakeside. Our little base on the longest shore over there, and then there's the sandbanks on the opposite side, which have been the home to a couple of pirate bases that we've been raiding. And 8 kilometres away in pale blue just up there, I've got my waypoint for a mystery base that seems to just be abandoned. It's, I guess it's probably was hostile, but it ran out of battery power. It just looks like an abandoned base on stilts, full of angry sentry gun traps and feisty stuff. We're down in parachuting kind of altitudes now, but I don't get an altitude readout from my seat, so I'm kind of relying on Brad to tell me when we're under 3,000 feet, 3,000 meters, but I'm pretty sure we already are. Question is, are we coming down too hard? That's what these little beauties are for. Huge fan of the parachute. I'm not sure how it decides how to suspend your ship exactly. The parachute at the front, I think, is mounted a little higher than the parachute at the back. So why the ship sits nose down, I'm not sure. You've got to be careful breaking out of the parachute grip. Oops. Zero explanation for that. But the important thing is that if you're waiting for lag and stuff-ups, you want it to be occurring during a parachute event. You're plummeting towards the earth and you're wondering when to open your parachutes. That's when a bit of lag and disconnect and a bit of general fuck-uppery needs to really kick in. It's vitally useful at that point. Only 88 motors required. It's a cinch. It's a cinch to fix. So, made it back down to Earth. Yeah, motors. Yeah, because I'm full of scrap, aren't I? Carried some stone all the way home in my inventory because I am that stupid. Does have any more motors? Not gonna fix them in a huge hurry. Might be able to get one operational. Or we can limp home. Limp home. The nano system will fix them once we get closer to home. So we can always go ice skimming. Okay, that's 100. This ship has very good brakes, I'm told. Alright. Back to base. Time for docking procedures. There we go. Little bit of nano repair for the win. Sort your ship out before touchdown. Mid-air repairs. And that's why having nano repair on your ship is super good. But of course it only works if you've got the right spare parts you need to fix your ship, which is tricky and questionable and adds a lot of weight to your ship. Okay. Line her up. Plummet down and get injured. Look at that connection, it's a beauty. So, 100% successful trip. Weren't planning on bringing that drop tank back anyway. We came back in one piece. Parachutes work beautifully. And we've got a hold full of platinum. And there isn't an auto extractor down there on Brad's coupler. But what I do have is an extractor bypass in the form of this conjigger, which I simply switch on, and it drains everything that's above ground and shoehorns it into the storage below ground, where it's nice and safe. Super useful for keeping our platinum safe until the refinery can request it, because it's a big chunk and it'll take it a while to process. There it goes, it seems to be arriving into sea. The rest of the cargo seems relatively empty. Sweet as. I've got 4 magazines left. My rapid fire gun. "11 thruster components." So, next project is bigger ships, tanky ships fighting pirates, and using ion thrusters to puddle around in space for extended periods, rather than just using hydrogen to fart up there and fart back. And you can use hydrogen too, but electric spaceships for the win. That's the plan. Apart from that, Ironclad was super successful on this mission. Mark 8 for the win. Parachutes are great. Take your own survival kit into space, and you can deal with drones. Just had to know the trick for dealing with drones after they killed us 1,100 times. But you figure these things out. So, bigger, badder ships on the horizon. Got a base full of junk. Rapidly growing base. Mining ships, Brad's ship, my raider in the background. Gonna leave it there until the next one.